So let's just see 70.5. Okay, I can see your answers. Let me just check what the real answer is. So seems like eagle ka speed was 12 and the fish ka speed was 28 by 3. Okay, these are the actual speeds of the fish and the eagle. The eagle ka speed and fish ka speed is 12 and 28 by 3. Okay. First and foremost, what we'll do is we'll find the apparent velocity of the eagle. So eagle's real velocity, we're discussing the homework question. Eagle's real velocity was 12 downwards. What is its apparent velocity? Okay. And this apparent velocity is always, जो भी formula से आएगा, this will be with respect to the surface. So we are not yet solving for the fish. We're just trying to find apparent velocity with respect to the surface. पहले surface के respect में निकालेंगे. Okay. Sorry. All right. So apparent velocity with respect to the surface, according to our formula, we know that this is going to be real velocity upon apparent velocity is mu O by mu E, and mu of the object over here is our, of course, the object is the eagle. Air ka refractive index is 1. I's ka refractive index is 4 by 3. Real velocity is 12. Therefore, your apparent velocity comes out to be 12 into 4 by 3. So your apparent velocity comes out to be 16. Okay, so anyone on this side of anyone below water, if they are at rest, they will see the eagle's velocity as 16. Okay, so eagle ka image ka velocity is 16 downwards. Eagle's image's velocity is 16 downwards. Eagle's image's velocity is 16 downwards. So what will be this image ka velocity as seen by the fish? What will be this image ka velocity as seen by the fish? So, but same velocity with respect to fish. क्या आ जाएगा? This will be velocity of the image 16 downwards minus 28 by 3 downwards. Eagle ka velocity, है ना? If somebody is at rest below water, they are going to see eagle का velocity 16. ठीक है? But अब fish खुद 28 by 3 के rate से move हो रहा है in the same direction. Therefore, relatively fish को eagle का image का क्या speed दिखेगा? 16 minus 28 by 3. अगर fish rest पे था, fish को इतना दिखना चाहिए था, but because the fish is moving, fish को 16 minus 28 by 3 दिखेगा. Means कितना दिखेगा? 48 by 3 minus 28 by 3, 20 by 3 downwards दिखेगा. 28 by 3 downwards दिखेगा. 20 by 3 downwards दिखेगा. Understood? पहले तो पानी के रिस्पेक्ट में any stationary person should see कि the eagle's apparent velocity is 16. But now because of the motion of the fish, fish को 16 नहीं दिखता है, but 16 से 28 by 3 कम दिखता है. तो 20 by 3 दिखेगा. Yes, approximately 7. That's fine. All right. Okay. All right. So let's continue further. एक मिनट. Yes, it's not really important, but if you want, you can remember that. You can derive that from the slab's results as well. Okay. 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 We're done with this, right? We're done with shift due to a slab. Now, coming back to this diagram, in this diagram, we can also see what our lateral displacement is. So let me just try and pick up this image if I can, hopefully. All right. Lateral displacement. Paste it. All right. So this is, in this diagram, we know that OI is our shift, but we can also define a term called as lateral displacement. And in this diagram, lateral displacement is the amount by which your incident ray gets displaced sideways. So your incident ray was headed in this direction. You know, your incident ray was headed in this direction. That shift, sideways shift of your light ray, this is your lateral displacement. This is your lateral displacement. Okay, this is your lateral displacement. So I can, same thing I can highlight over here as well. This is your lateral displacement, LD. Now I can see a very, very simple relation between LD and shift. बहुत simple सा relation दिख रहा है between LD and shift. Okay, again, what is lateral displacement? It's the distance between the initial ray का line and the final ray का line. ठीक है? Is the distance between the initial ray वाला line and the final ray वाला line. It's the distance between the, I'll write that direction out. But can you see over here, I'll write the definition out. But yeah, what is the relation between shift and lateral displacement? Yes, very nice. Shift times sin I, sine. All right. So sine of I, sine of your angle of incidence is perpendicular, yani ki lateral displacement, divided by hypotenuse, and your hypotenuse is your shift. Okay, the sine I is lateral displacement divided by shift. So lateral displacement therefore is simply shift times sine I. Simply shift times sine I. The lateral displacement is simply shift times sine I. And therefore the formula for your lateral displacement is going to be thickness into 1 minus tan R by tan I, है ना, into sin I. ठीक है, तो ये अलग से याद करने का जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगा तुम्हें. If you just remember this itself, you'll be able to answer a question on lateral displacement. Okay, thickness 1 minus tan R by tan I. Got this? I'll write the definition as well. It is the distance between the path along which the incident ray and the final emergent, final ray travel. Okay, so what is lateral displacement? Very simple. It should be and. It is a distance between the lines along which the incident ray and the final ray travel. Simple. Simple definition. Okay. Any doubt in this? Easy to derive. Yeah? If you remember shift ka formula, shift into sin I is lateral displacement. So kabhi lateral displacement पूछ लिया, तो you can easily use this. All right. So I'll give you an example. So let's say, so most likely, when you are given a question on lateral displacement, you will be given angles of incidence. अच्छा, previous page देख लो, एक और बार देख लो. Okay, so most likely when you're given a question on lateral displacement, you will be given your angle of incidence. If you're given your angle of incidence, normally you will get values like 30 degree, 45 degree, 60 degree. These are all big angles. And because these are big angles, तुम shift के लिए वो approximate formula use नहीं कर सकते हो. ठीक है? So when you are given angles like 30, 45, 60, you'll have to use the actual formula to find shift. Near normal viewing तब नहीं होगा. 30 degree वगैरह बड़े angle पे near normal viewing नहीं होगा. ठीक है? So let's just give you an example. Let's say mu is just a minute. I'll repeat what I just said. So I said कि if you're given angles, if you, I'll write the formula as well. Formula इधर लिख रहा हूँ, ठीक है? तो formula is shift का formula t into 1 minus tan r by tan I. ये है formula for shift, which you should have memorized by now. That into sin I. This is the formula. ठीक है? And what I said is, since you're going to be given angles for this question, these angles are too big to consider near normal viewing. Therefore, if you apply the formula t into 1 minus 1 by mu into sin I, everything is going to go wrong. For the simple reason, साफ साफ दिख रहा है, 60 degree पे 30 degree पे sin I अलग होता है, tan I अलग होता है. Sin and tan are drastically different. है ना? So if you use the near normal viewing वाला approximation, you'll get it wrong. If you're given angles, please stick to the real formula. If you're not given angles, you can use t into 1 minus 1 by mu. All right, so this is your question. I want you to find a couple of things that help you on the way. So find these three things. Find angle of refraction. Find thickness be 2 centimeter. Find angle of refraction. Find shift. And find lateral displacement. Yes, yes. When nothing is mentioned, surroundings are always air. Air. डेरिवेशन कोई पूछ रहा है, डेरिवेशन कुछ नहीं है भाई. डेरिवेशन इतना ही है कि तुम्हारा लैटरल डिस्प्लेसमेंट ये है और तुम्हारा शिफ्ट ये है. तो शिफ्ट, तो इफ यू कैन सी क्लियरली, साइन आई इज परपेंडिकुलर अपॉन हाइपोटेनस. तो साइन आई इज लैटरल डिस्प्लेसमेंट अपॉन शिफ्ट, and shift का perpendicular component, shift sin I is lateral displacement. That is a derivation. Shift का formula into sin I is lateral displacement. Okay, shift का perpendicular component is lateral displacement. Got it? Yes, Shubham, सही है. Yes. Who's that? एक मिनट ना. सार्थक सही है. Sahil, just hold on. या शुभम सही है, पूर्णा पूर्णा का सही है, सानिध्य सही है, शुभम जस्ट चेक, आई थिंक थोड़ा सा गलत है तेरा, गुरुदेव सही है, सात्विक सही है, ओके अमन, okay, even as you're solving, I'll just write out the answer so you can cross check. Okay, these are your answers for you to cross check. See, everyone's getting this? Cool. Should I quickly just discuss? No, you cannot use shift as t into 1 minus mu1 by mu2. You absolutely cannot use that. This is not near normal viewing. Mu1 by mu2 use karna matlab you are replacing tan r with sin r. Tumhi dekh lo, is tan 30 degrees the same as sin 30? No. Is tan I the same as sin I? No. Do you expect to get the same result? You cannot expect to get the same result if you use t into 1 minus 1 by mu. Okay, उस बात का ध्यान रखना. That's why I'm giving you this one question. When angles are given, and since है ना तुम्हें किस टाइप के एंगल्स का tan sin वगैरह आता है 30, 60, 45, 37, तो ऐसे एंगल्स का आता है जो एंगल बाय डिफॉल्ट बड़ा है. So when angles are given to you, use the actual formula. When angles are not given, you are expected to use near normal viewing. सिंपल है ना, एंगल दिया ही नहीं है तो कैसे यूज करेंगे. तो जब एंगल नहीं दिया होता है तब तुम वो सिंप्लीफाइड रिजल्ट यूज करो, एंगल दिया है तो एक्चुअल रिजल्ट यूज करो. ओके, सो इट्स क्वाइट सिंपल. आई जस्ट शो द सॉल्यूशन. सिंपल. आर निकालने के लिए use your Snell's law. Alright, so you can say √3, अरे यार, you can say √3 sin r is 1 into sin I, and sin I is 60 degrees. तो यहां से आता है कि sin r is 1 upon √3 times √3 by 2, so that comes out to be half. So obviously यहाँ से r का वैल्यू 30 डिग्री आ जाएगा. r का वैल्यू 30 डिग्री आ जाएगा. ठीक है, ये आने के बाद the next thing you can do is you can now find shift. So shift, I use Snell's law, mu into sin theta is constant. √3 into sin r, glass का mu into glass का sin theta is air का mu into air का sin theta. This is Snell's law, refraction. ठीक है, फिर उसके बाद शिफ्ट का फॉर्मूला यूज करूंगा एक्चुअल फॉर्मूला, बिकॉज एंगल्स आर गिवन. एंगल दिया है तो हमेशा एक्चुअल फॉर्मूला यूज करो. सिंपल. थिकनेस इज 2, 1 minus tan 30 is 1 by √3, and tan 60 is √3. So 2 into 1 minus 1 by 3, that obviously becomes 2 by 3 into 2, so it becomes 4 by 3 centimeters. Simple. And the last one is lateral displacement is shift into sin I. Lateral displacement is shift into sin I. So it's 4 by 3 into sine of 60, which is √3 by 2. तो 4 and 2 कट जाएगा, 2 रह जाएगा, √3 by 3 by √3 दे देगा. Okay, so this is your lateral displacement, of course, again in centimeters. See which formula is used? Okay, na, sort out. Formula is this. This is the formula that's used. Always use the actual formula if the angles are given to you. Always use the real formula if the angles are given to you. This is your answer. You'll have options in front of you. You have to pick the right option. Lateral displacement का unit centimeters ना, thickness जो भी है, thickness जो भी था वही shift का units आ जाएगा, and shift का units जो भी है वही lateral displacement का unit हो जाएगा. Yes, so it will be centimeters. Got it? All right. Okay. So now I'll give you one array. Sorry. Let's see another question on real depth, apparent depth when the angles are big. Okay? When you don't have near normal viewing. Okay. So let's say, let me write the question first. Okay. So let's say a steel glass of height 3h, a steel glass of height 3h and radius h has a coin of diameter h, has a coin of diameter h resting against its wall. Resting against its wall. Okay, I'll show the diagram as well. A person views. Okay, so a person viewing from the side. A person viewing from the side is just able to see the top of the coin. A person viewing from the side is just able to see the top of the coin. On filling the glass with water, up to a height 2h, he can see the bottom of the coin as well. He can see the bottom of the coin as well. Find the refractive index of the water. All right, so let me show you the diagram. Okay, so you have a glass like this, जिसका height is 3h, जिसका radius is h, and you have a coin resting against a coin of diameter h resting against the wall of the glass. Okay. Now, okay. Now, a person is able to see, he's viewing from the side, so his eye is somewhere over here. Okay. His eyes are somewhere over here, and he's just able to see the top of the coin. He's just able to see the top of the coin. But what does the story say? The story says that when I fill water till a height of 2h, he's somehow able to see the bottom of the coin as well. So when I fill water till a height of 2h, he's able to see the bottom of the coin. Find the refractive index of water. Find the refractive index of water. ये थोड़ा interesting, थोड़ा slightly tricky question है, but I would say try to apply geometry, try to find angle of incidence, angle of refraction, and हो जाएगा solve. पानी का height is given to you as 2h. And क्या होता है? How does he manage to see the bottom of the coin as he fills water? So he manages to see the bottom of the coin because ये जो ray है ना, जो ray actually top की तरफ जा रहा था, अब refraction के कारण it bends towards the normal and manages to reach the bottom. That's how he's actually able to see the bottom of the coin. Okay. Now, trust me, there is enough in this diagram to solve and answer the question geometrically. Can you try finding mu? All right, you'll have to apply Snell's law. Geometry based question है, थोड़ा Snell's law लगा के देख लो. Hint is first find I and R. Hint, find I and R through geometry. First find I and R. Very nice, Parth. $45 degrees आएगा I, perfect. Very nice. Who's this? Aman, perfect. Rugved, just check कर, तेरा answer 1 से कम आ रहा है. Almost correct. But गड़बड़ हो गया. Very close. हाँ, अब सही है. Okay, so angle of incidence, I hope you guys can see that it's 45 degrees. You know, this ray, the angle of incidence, this 45 degrees. I'll just copy this diagram. Right, 45 degrees दिखना चाहिए, क्यों? This particular ray, it goes down a distance of 2h and moves horizontally also a distance of 2h. Alright, so you have a right angle triangle जिसका base and height equal है, clearly indicating that this angle is 45 degrees. Therefore, clearly indicating that this angle is 45 degrees. So obviously, तुम्हारा angle of incidence भी 45 degrees होगा. Now you need not exactly find angle of refraction, but I'm sure you can identify in this diagram that this angle is your angle of refraction. And ये angle का अगर sin निकालना है या tan निकालना है, सब ये diagram से तुम्हें दिखेगा, सब diagram से दिखेगा, ठीक है? But what do I need to do now? चलो मान लो I have spotted what my I is and what my R is. Should I be doing, should I say कि real depth by apparent depth, real depth being actually 2h and apparent depth actually being only h? Should I say real depth by apparent depth is mu of object मतलब पानी, so mu by air? Should I be doing this? Can I say real depth by apparent depth is mu? Okay, this is not going to be right. Why? Because this is not near normal viewing. यहाँ पे है ना, this is not near normal viewing. Angles are big. एक angle दिख रहा है 45 degrees. These angles are big. So this is not near normal viewing. You will not use this result. You will not use this result. So when it's not near normal viewing, use your basic Snell's law. बस और क्या चाहिए? Snell's law लगाना है. That's it. So one last chance for more people to get it right. Look at this diagram and apply Snell's law. ये क्या है? इसमें गलत क्या है? ये tan theta यूज करता है, जबकि Snell's law actually क्या है? Sin theta का रेशियो है. Alright, so use Snell's law and just see if you can get root 5 by 2 as the answer, root 5 by root 2 as the answer. देख लो. Parth, you're right, but we don't need tan r. है ना? We don't need tan r. क्या चाहिए? What is the actual relation now? What is Snell's law involving? Snell's law is going to involve sin I and sin r. तो diagrammatically sin r देख लो क्या है? अच्छा, one of you saying how can you tell normal is bisecting the diameter? ये दिख रहा है ना कि ये यहाँ पे h नीचे गया, ये एक तो एंगल 45 डिग्रीज है. The minute we figure out the angle is 45 degrees, that means यहाँ पे जब तुम h नीचे जाओगे, ये h आगे जाएगा. That's how I know this is exactly at the center. That's how I know कि this is h and this is also h. देखो root 5 by root 2 आ रहा है क्या? How the horizontal distance is 2h? Because the बोला है ना सवाल ने, radius of this cylinder is h, so h का double 2h. Good. Ask doubts. If you have doubts, please ask. Okay. Alright, so near normal viewing नहीं है, allowed नहीं है. So stick to Snell's law. Whenever the angles are big, just stick to Snell's law. You don't need any extra theory, real depth, apparent depth. Just stick to Snell's law. तो Snell's law क्या बोलता है? पानी का म्यू इंटू पानी में साइन एंगल का साइन, तो म्यू साइन आर इज एयर का म्यू इंटू एयर का एंगल का साइन. तो म्यू साइन आर इज 1 साइन आई. म्यू साइन आर इज 1 साइन आई. साइन आई तो हमें पता है, दैट्स नॉट अ बिग डील. साइन 45 डिग्रीज इज 1 by root 2. But what about sin r? तो वो डायग्राम में थोड़ा ध्यान से देख लो. What do I have in this diagram to find sine r? I know this is h, so perpendicular is h, and hypotenuse is going to be h, and 2h का Pythagoras resultant कितना आ जाएगा वो? √5, है ना? This is h, this is 2h, that's r for you, and this is obviously √5h. Sine r, yes, thickness of coin, of course मैंने दिया नहीं है तो तुम थोड़ी इसको बैठ के गेस करोगे 0.2h 0.3h, दिया नहीं है तो ऑब्वियसली इट्स अ फेयर assumption कि थिकनेस निगलेक्ट करना था. okay? Of course you have to ignore the width of the coin. हाँ, दिया नहीं है तो मैं थोड़ी बोलूंगा गेस करो. अगर width of the coin लेना था तो इसका आंसर आता ही नहीं था. It's impossible to solve, है ना? So these are fair assumptions. You have to ignore the width of the coin. Some things may not always be explicitly told in the question. I think it was fair to assume कि coil का neglect करना था. So R, you don't need to guess the angle of R. It's not a known angle. But from this diagram, you have to just substitute sine R. So sine R is perpendicular upon hypotenuse. Perpendicular upon hypotenuse. So h by √5h. That's going to be 1 upon √5. Got it? Simple. You know two sides of this right angle triangle. You get the third side and you can find sine as well. Sine, tan, जो भी है वो triangle से तुम निकाल सकते हो. तो इससे आ जाएगा mu is √5 upon 2. √5 upon √2. Got it? समझ में आया? Okay? So whole point of this example is कि when you can see a real depth, apparent depth type question being asked, but when you can see that the angles are clearly indicated and they are not small but they are big, then you will not apply near normal viewing. You will just simply apply Snell's law. Okay? You just simply apply Snell's law. Okay? Got this? Any doubt in this? How was the angle of incidence 45? Simple बात है. यहाँ पे diameter 2h था, ठीक है? And coin का height vessel के top से 2h नीचे था. So this particular light ray headed for the top of the coin was going down by 2h and going ahead by 2h. है ना? Going down by 2h, going ahead by 2h. So in this right angle triangle, height and base are equal. So both these angles are 45 degrees. Got it? So the green line is making an angle of 45 degrees with the vertical. समझ में आया? Any other doubts in this? Okay. All right. Just in the previous question, if everything is same, in the previous question, if the radius was very small, everything else being the same, what would mu be? So previous question, what would mu be if the radius was very small and everything else is the same? तो क्या करोगे? Radius of the glass, radius of the glass. If the radius of the glass, fair enough, if the radius of the glass was very small, so it's a very narrow glass, it's a very narrow glass, what would mu be? Yes. Me to man, just think, take some time and think, and let me know the final answer. So everything is the same, only the radius of the glass is very small. What would mu be? Difficult to draw this one, but the idea is, yes, it implies, what's the difference? It implies near normal viewing can be valid now. Now, so this coin, सोचो अब आंसर कर लो. No, Ayush, that's not what it implies. It implies that this is now the angles are small, so near normal viewing is valid. So you can apply the formula for real depth and apparent depth. You can now apply the formula for real depth and apparent depth. Right? So बहुत simple है, ये तो orally हो जाएगा. Yes, अनुषा का सही है, पूर्णा का सही है, इन दो का ही सही है. Yes, सार्थक, that was the answer then. आयुष का सही हो गया. अमय का सही हो गया. So just explaining the question, the coin ka foot, which was actually at the bottom, is now visible where the top of the coin was. है ना? तो you're viewing at the same angle जहाँ पे head of coin है, but अब coin का foot वहाँ पे दिख रहा है. So coin जो in reality यहाँ पे है ना? This is the real position of the coin. That coin now seems to be over here. So the coin seems raised by a certain amount. It seems raised by h. So your mu should be, carefully formula लगाओ, half नहीं आएगा, 2 आएगा, 2 आएगा. Real depth upon apparent depth is mu O by mu E. Since angles are small, near normal viewing is valid. And real depth is actually 2h. Real depth is 2h. Whereas your apparent depth is h. यही क्वेश्चन था ना, कॉइन यहाँ पे विजिबल दिखता है. सो रियल डेप्थ इज, पानी तो सिर्फ 2h तक भरा था ना, पानी पूरा नहीं भरा था, पानी 2h के हाइट तक भरा था प्रीवियस क्वेश्चन में. तो रियल डेप्थ वाज एक्चुअली, अच्छा दैट्स व्हाई मे बी सम ऑफ यू गॉट अ by 3 इन द डिनोमिनेटर. रियल डेप्थ 2h था, apparent depth h था. माय होल पॉइंट इज व्हेन द एंगल्स आर स्मॉल, दिस इज हाउ यू आइडेंटिफाई कि दिस इज अ question where you can use near normal viewing. So according to near normal viewing, we will simply get 2h upon h is mu of object, मतलब पानी का mu upon air का mu. यहाँ से we'll get that mu is equal to 2. Okay. So hints are no angle is given, no angle is given, and angles are told to be small. They indicated to be small, so therefore this is near normal viewing. One last time, one of you is asking how is apparent depth h. How is apparent depth h? पानी का height 2h था, बंदा किस डायरेक्शन में देख रहा है? इस डायरेक्शन में देख रहा है कि the point he's last point he's able to see is at this. So the line along which that guy is seeing is such कि वो पानी के पहले सिर्फ कॉइन का टॉप देख पा रहा था, बट अब रिफ्रैक्शन के कारण क्या हो रहा है, वो बॉटम भी देख पा रहा है. मतलब बॉटम का अपैरेंट पोजीशन ये हो गया. the bottom seems to be h height above where it really is. That's how he's able to see the bottom. All right. So therefore, apparent depth becomes 2h minus h. The apparent depth is h. Array. All right, cool. Just remember those examples. See, I just gave you 2 examples to show kab, when they could make a question on real depth and apparent depth for large angles, how you would use Snell's law in that case. And when the angles are not given and they are small, you can use near normal viewing. Most of the time, angles will not be given and they'll be small, and you will use near normal viewing. Okay. Yes, Ayush, I think, yeah. Okay. The next topic we're going to see is critical angle. All right. So some of you may be familiar with this idea, critical angle and total internal reflection. Right. So what happens in critical angle? We know that when light passes from a denser medium, when light passes from a denser medium to a rarer medium, जैसे for instance it's passing from glass to air या water to air, then the angle of incidence for which the angle of refraction becomes 90 degrees is called the critical angle for the given pair of media. Degrees का simple कहाँ से आएगा? I think good. It becomes 90 degrees is called the refractive, is called the critical angle for the given pair of media. So critical angle depends on both the mediums. It depends on the combination of the two mediums that you're taking. It's called the critical angle of given pair of media. So very simple derivation, बहुत easy है. What are we saying? We of course know that when light passes from a denser medium, mu d, to a rarer medium, mu r, d for denser, r for rarer. Okay, so we know that when light passes from a denser medium to a rarer medium, we get the light, the light bends away from the normal. We know that light bends away from the normal. Now logically you can expect, as you keep increasing the angle, एक point ऐसा आ सकता है when your angle of incidence is still not 90 degrees, but your angle of refraction has bent and become 90 degrees. All right, so that's possible. As you keep increasing your angle of incidence, ऐसा हो सकता है at a particular angle of incidence, जब तुम्हारा angle of incidence ऐसा था कि तुम्हारा angle of refraction 90 degrees हो गया. Angle of refraction 90 degrees हो गया, है ना? So in that case, this angle over here is called your critical angle. So your angle of refraction is 90 degrees, and at the corresponding angle of incidence is your critical angle. Critical angle ko let's just use the symbol theta c. Okay? Theta c for critical angle. Okay, so based on this diagram, as you can clearly see, when I apply Snell's law, mu r into sine r is mu d into sine, ये r refraction वाला है, mu d into sine I. Okay, so mu r into sine 90 degrees, which is 1, is mu d into sine I, and I is your critical angle. So when your angle of incidence is your critical angle, your angle of refraction is 90 degrees. तो यहाँ से क्या आ रहा है? What is the formula for your critical angle? Oops. एक बार. So your formula for, is my screen visible? Sorry, I think up visible. Okay, so my critical angle यहाँ से आता है कि mu r by mu d. See, I'm giving you a general result. Theta c becomes sine inverse of mu r by mu d. ठीक है, it's very simple. Sine inverse of mu r by mu d. Sine inverse के अंदर जो भी input होगा हमेशा वो 1 से कम होगा. So obviously this formula में ऊपर हमेशा you'll put the smaller refractive index and नीचे you'll always put the bigger refractive index. Only then sine inverse is defined. ठीक है, तो theta c is sine inverse mu r by mu d when rarer medium is air. When the rarer medium is air, when the rarer medium is air, of course, then you get a special case result. Your critical angle becomes sine inverse air ka refractive index becomes 1 by mu. Okay, so that's why you might have seen this formula before. But in general, the formula is sine inverse mu of the refractive index to mu of the mu of rarer medium upon mu of denser medium. Okay, so I'll just repeat this one last time. Obviously, this happens when you go only from the denser to the rarer medium. तुम उल्टा जभी भी जाओगे, this can never happen because whenever you go in the reverse direction, the angle of refraction is always lesser. So you can't expect it to become 90 degrees while going in the opposite direction. But when you go from denser to rarer, it's possible at a particular angle of incidence that your angle of refraction, which is normally bigger, becomes 90 degrees. Now, when that happens, the corresponding angle of incidence is called your critical angle. When R is 90, I is your critical angle. Okay, that's the story. Simple. So, क्या किया मैंने? Mu R sin R is mu D sin I, है ना? Mu into sin theta common ले लिया, and mu R into sine of refraction means sin 90 means 1 is mu D into sine of your critical angle. Rearrange किया, mu R by mu D is sin theta, तो theta is sin inverse mu R by mu D. समझ में आया? Simple. Okay. All right. Okay, when one of the mediums is vacuum, then you can take it as sine inverse 1 by mu. All right. You can also say this is sine inverse. If you want, you can also look at it as sine inverse 1 by mu of the denser medium relative to the rarer medium. Mu of the denser medium relative to the rarer medium. एक ही बात है, ठीक? Mu r by mu d is 1 upon mu of the denser medium relative to the rarer medium. Okay? So now we have a concept. Can one is saying in the case of rarer to denser, can a case occur in which the refracted ray crosses the normal? I think you mean बिल्कुल भी नहीं यार. If you mean कि can a case occur कि refracted ray ऐसा cross करेगा? बिल्कुल नहीं, बिल्कुल भी नहीं, बिल्कुल भी नहीं. The refracted ray will always be on the other side. I छोटा होगा, R छोटा होगा, it will not cross the normal. Okay, total internal reflection. So based on this, you have a concept called as total internal reflection, which happens when you further increase the angle. Total internal reflection. Just make that a little bigger. All right, so on further increasing the angle of incidence, on further increasing the angle of incidence beyond the critical angle, no refraction takes place. No refraction takes place. And 100% of the light gets reflected back into the denser medium. 100% of the light gets reflected back into the denser medium, naturally obeying the laws of reflection. Obeying the laws of reflection. Obeying the laws of reflection. All right. So please remember this key medium in this case for total internal reflection to take place. Short में TIR लिखेंगे है ना. So for TIR to take place, the medium must be denser than its surroundings. The medium must be denser than its surroundings. For TIR to take place, the medium must be denser than its surroundings. For TIR to take place, the medium must be denser than its surroundings. That's the idea. Okay? The reflection, in fact, this kind of reflection is better. This kind of reflection is considered to be better than normal reflection through a mirror. So reflection through TIR, total internal reflection, is better than reflection through even plane mirrors, because because only in this case 100% reflection takes place. Because only in this case 100% reflection takes place. Okay, so it's found कि plane mirrors की case में majority of the light rays falling on the mirror would get reflected. Okay? In the case of plane mirrors, majority of the light rays falling on the mirror would get reflected, but some of the rays also get absorbed. A small percentage gets absorbed. An ideal mirror would reflect 100%, but in reality, थोड़ा सा वो absorb कर भी लेता है. Okay? So therefore, the resultant image का brightness is a little lesser than what it really should be. Resultant image ka brightness is a little lesser than what it really should be. On the other hand, you will find that when total internal reflection is engaged, there is no absorption, no transmission. 100% of the incoming light rays ka intensity is reflected back. Therefore, there is no decrease in brightness. Okay? And you find, as a result, you find total internal reflection being used in places where you can't afford to lose intensity. So you find, yes, you find it being used in, you find it in a diamond, of course. That's one of the reasons diamond sparkles, because once light goes in, itna andar total internal reflection hote jata hai ki it that adds to the beauty of your precious gems. But in practical scenarios, you also find total internal reflection being used in periscopes. So if you have seen cartoons and if you see an underwater submarine try to look at something above the surface of water, what they use actually is a periscope. So they take, and periscopes don't use mirrors, rather periscopes use these kind of prism-like substances, which जहाँ पे क्या होता है, जहाँ पे when the light rays come in, ठीक है, they ensure कि इसका refractive index ऐसा है कि यहाँ पे total internal reflection होता है. They ensure कि this angle of incidence, it can be 45 degrees, is greater than critical angle. ऐसा material choose करेंगे. So when it's greater than critical angle, यहाँ पे क्या होगा, पूरा का पूरा light का intensity reflect होगा. यहाँ पे वापस they will ensure कि the angle of incidence is greater than critical angle. तो वापस total internal reflection होगा. वापस all of the light rays will get reflected and it will reach the eye. So this is how your eyes are able to see the image of whatever is above the surface. And because they are not using plane mirrors, via this method, brightness of the image formed is a lot better. Via this method, the brightness of the image formed is a lot better. Yes, yeah, theoretically that's possible. Okay. In fact, another place where you find total internal reflection being taken place. So this is a periscope. This is just ज़्यादा कुछ हमें इससे करना नहीं है. This is just for your information. So in a periscope, you can find total internal reflection being used. Another example is in optical cables. In optical fibers, you can find total internal reflection being used. Okay, so your internet uses transmits information through in the form of light, and that's transmitted predominantly through optical fibers. And optical fibers are really narrow fibers where your medium density is greater than the surrounding medium density. So because your medium density is greater than the surrounding medium's density and the fibers are so thin, what happens is when light passing through the fiber deviates even a little bit, when light passing through the fibers deviates even a little bit. Is somebody's camera on? Please switch off your cameras. All right. Yeah. So when the incoming light deviates even slightly, what happens? It may strike the surface, but it will not leave the surface. Why? Because the material chosen is such that this angle will always be greater than critical angle. So if that angle is greater than critical angle, what's going to happen? It's going to get reflected back into this medium. Okay. So that's a very simplified explanation for what happens in an optical fiber. But the whole underlying concept is that of total internal reflection. Total internal reflection ensures that this light wave carrying valuable information is not allowed to leave the medium, is not allowed to leave the medium. It's highly reliable, and that's what your internet depends upon. Okay. So again, optical fibers incorporate total internal reflection. How does light carry information? That's what you're going to learn in towards the end in a chapter called as communication systems. You will see how light carries information based on what its frequency is, based on how it oscillates, it carries information. All right, that's the idea. And how is everything that I'm seeing over here, everything that I'm making on my screen, how is it getting transferred to you guys? Everything works through electromagnetic waves being sent from one place to another. So you'll understand that a little bit later. Okay, that's not for now. But in towards the end of your 12th, you'll get to see that. Okay, all right. Now, sorry. Now, if you were to look at the graph, if you were to look at a graph of angle of deviation, if you were to plot a graph of angle of deviation versus angle of incidence, when light goes from a denser medium, angle of deviation versus angle of incidence, when light goes from denser medium to rarer medium, then how would the graph look? So think about it. If this is your angle of incidence and this is your angle of refraction, just think about the few important points. When angle of incidence is 0, angle of refraction is also 0. All right, so we're actually plotting delta versus angle of incidence. So when angle of incidence is 0, delta is also going to be 0. When angle of incidence is 0, delta is going to be 0. So consider the case before um, total internal reflection starts. So that's when this is your angle of incidence and that's your angle of refraction, and therefore there is some angle of deviation. Okay, there is some angle of deviation. Okay? And that angle of deviation gradually starts increasing. But when angle of incidence is 0, then your angle of deviation is also 0. So our starting point is 0, 0. Starting point is 0, 0. Now, as angle of incidence increases, your angle of deviation also increases. Tanmay, total internal reflection is not called partial reflection by any standards. Okay, I've never heard that term, and most likely it's not called that because ulta total internal reflection mein all of the light rays are reflected. So the word partial makes no sense. Okay, the graph is not going to be linear naturally because ये relation क्या है अजीब सा है ना, sin I minus sin R. So you can imagine that the graph is not going to be linear. All right, and the shape of the graph won't matter. What rather will matter is where does it stop. So at some particular angle, this graph is going to change. What is that angle going to be? At which angle will the nature of this graph suddenly change? At what angle of incidence? At your critical angle. Very nice. So at critical angle, the nature of the graph is going to suddenly change. What do you think is angle of deviation at the critical angle? पहले बताओ, what is angle of deviation at the critical angle? It's not 90. Come on, deviation का definition सोचो. What is angle of deviation? Yes. So critical angle theta c है. तुम्हारा reflected ray ऐसा दिखता है. So at the angle of deviation, at the critical angle, your angle of deviation becomes 90 degrees minus theta c. This is theta c. This is theta c, है ना? Theta c. Angle of deviation क्या हो गया? Angle between incident ray का direction and final ray का direction. So angle of deviation becomes 90 degrees minus theta c. या pi by 2 minus theta c. So your graph at this instant, just at the critical angle, reaches a value of 90 degrees minus theta c. 90 degrees minus theta c. Now I want you to, yaad tak no problem na? Now I want you to think closely, just after this value, what is going to happen? What is your angle of deviation going to be just after this value? What is your angle of deviation going to be just after this value? So I'm saying 0. Come on, guys. So after this value, just after this value, your angle of deviation becomes क्या होता है? Reflection होता है. So if this is my incident ray, so just beyond the critical angle, अभी भी लगभग critical angle ही है, उसे just थोड़ा आगे गए, your final ray looks like this. Your angle of deviation is going to be this. So what does this look like? ये तो था 90 minus theta c. ये भी हो जाएगा 90 माइनस थीटा सी। तो दोनों का सम कुल मिलके कितना हो जाएगा? इन दोनों को ऐड करोगे तो आ जाएगा 180 डिग्रीज माइनस 2 थीटा सी। वेरी नाइस for all those who answered that. 180 degrees minus 2 theta c. So your graph suddenly jumps to a higher value. After your critical angle, your graph suddenly jumps to a higher value and it becomes 180 degrees minus theta c. Okay? So 180 degrees minus theta c. This is just after your critical angle. Uske aage, can you tell me what is the nature of the graph going to look like? इसके आगे ग्राफ कैसे दिखेगा? Very nice, Purna. It's actually going to be beyond this point. It's going to be linear. You can prove it. It's going to be a straight line. कैसे? इसके आगे the function is going to be very simple. इसके आगे, if this is your angle of incidence, this again becomes I. So then your function becomes always this delta becomes 180 degrees minus twice of I. When I is greater than theta c, delta becomes 180 degrees minus these two angles, twice of I. So delta is 180 degrees minus 2i. That means this is a straight line equation. This is a straight line equation. Delta as a function of I will be a straight line. Y is mx plus c जैसा हो गया ना? Straight line. Okay? And since slope negative है ना, I का coefficient negative है, slope negative है, तो ये ग्राफ अब नीचे आना स्टार्ट करेगा, कम होना स्टार्ट करेगा. कम होते होते कहां तक पहुंचेगा? What is delta when I is 90? When angle of incidence is 90, what is angle of deviation going to be? Very nice. It's ultimately going to be 0. 90 के angle of incidence पे angle of deviation भी लगभग 0 हो गया, because reflection भी लगभग graze करके जा रहा है. Incident ray surface को graze करेगा, reflected ray भी graze करेगा, तो delta is almost 0. So this graph as a straight line comes back to the axis, x-axis. ठीक है? So at 90 degrees, angle of deviation is 0. Okay? So what is important in this graph is the fact that this is a straight line. The other fact key, these 2 points, there is a sudden jump in the graph. You know, the nature of the graph at theta c is pi by 2 minus theta c. And just beyond that, it's pi minus 2 theta c. So those are some important ideas. यहाँ पे the function becomes pi by 2 minus 2y. This entire function becomes, sorry, pi minus 2y. 180 degrees minus 2y. And when I becomes 90, delta becomes exactly 0. You can see it becomes 0. No harm in that. All right. Any doubt in this, guys? कुछ भी doubt है इसमें, please पूछो. I mean, these are technically things you could be doing yourself, but I'm just making it quite clear for you guys. Okay, so angle of deviation versus angle of incidence. एक question ले लो. Okay, let's just, I can see that there are almost 10 minutes left, so let's just try one question. Okay, let's see this. Come on. A source of light is placed at the bottom of a swimming pool of refractive index refractive index uh, 1.25. Okay, a source of light is placed at the bottom of a swimming pool of refractive index 1.25. Okay, um, of depth, sorry, let's say of depth 10 meters, filled with water, filled with water having refractive index 1.25. Okay. So this is your question. A source of light is placed at the bottom of a swimming pool of depth 10 meters with water having refractive index 1.25. A circular opaque disc, a circular opaque disc is made to float on the surface of the pool with its center lying directly with its center lying directly directly above the point source. Okay. Find its minimum radius to ensure no light leaves the surface of the pool. Okay, so what's the question? You have a source of light placed at the bottom of a pool of depth 10 meters. Okay, and the source of light, let's say, is over here. Okay, and it's emitting light in all directions. But now what is being done is somebody is placing a circular disc. Okay, side से ऐसा दिखेगा, but somebody is placing a circular disc of some radius above, directly above this point, and the whole purpose is कि अब इस disc के कारण, disc is opaque, okay, disc is opaque, disc के कारण light अब pool के बाहर निकलना नहीं चाहिए. What is the minimum radius of the disc for that? Think, it's not very difficult, try कर लो. सवाल समझ में आया सबको? Previous slide देखना था, देख लो जल्दी. Well, let me I'll show you after the question, na, if you don't mind. Question के बाद दिखा देता हूँ. Everyone's reading the question. श्रेया का सही हो गया. हर्ष, yours is close. थोड़ा चेक कर लो. दिशा, तुम भी एक बार चेक कर लो, साइन लिया या टैन लिया. पूर्णा का सही हो गया. वेरी नाइस. यश, वेरी नाइस. दिशा, थोड़ा और चेक कर लो. इट्स क्लोज. आई थिंक यू जस्ट मल्टीप्लाइड. रेशियो थोड़ा उल्टा हो गया. आई थिंक हर्ष सही है. सार्थक नहीं. तन्मय, that into 10. Now, those who didn't get what's going on, लाइट निकलेगा ये सोर्स से, ठीक है. बट तुम्हें अब ऐसा रेडियस लेना है कि योर रेडियस जस्ट मैनेजेस टू कट ऑफ द लाइट विच वुड हैव एक्चुअली एस्केप्ड. उतना ही कट ऑफ करने का जरूरत है. बिकॉज बियॉन्ड अ पॉइंट, बियॉन्ड अ सर्टेन एंगल, इट्स पॉसिबल कि लाइट रेज डोंट एस्केप एट ऑल, है ना. एक पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट के बाद तो टोटल इंटरनल रिफ्लेक्शन होगा. देन योर रेडियस विल बी दैट, तुम्हें मिनिमम रेडियस यूज करना है, तो यू वांट योर रेडियस टू बी सच कि the last ray which could have escaped is not allowed to escape. So technically then we can say ki acha, at the critical angle, the answer is 40 by 3 guys. Okay, as I'm explaining, if you want to cross check, this is the answer. 40 by 3 meters are answer. So this is the idea. Just वो critical angle वाले point पे इसका टिप होना चाहिए. क्रिटिकल एंगल वाले पॉइंट पे इसका टिप होना चाहिए. क्यों? बिकॉज इसके बियॉन्ड तो जरूरत पड़ेगा ही नहीं. इसके beyond, all other light rays will undergo total internal reflection and no light will be able to escape from the pool. So this is the minimum that you need. Theta, as a result of this, we of course know theta is your critical angle. So critical angle becomes sine inverse 1 by 1.25. 1 by 1.25, that is, by the way, 1 by 1.25 is 4 by 5. Sine inverse 4 by 5 is actually 53 degrees. Sine inverse 4 by 5 is 53 degrees. So therefore, we get as a consequence of that, that this angle over here is also 53 degrees. Okay. Alright, so answer आता है 40 by 3. Just a minute. एक सेकेंड ना. एक सेकेंड. एक सेकेंड. So then from that we get that this angle is also 53 degrees. And if that's 53 degrees, then you can easily verify that tan 53 is r upon 10. Tan 53 degrees is r upon 10. And tan 53 degrees is, by the way, 4 by 3. So 4 by 3 is r by 10, which makes r equal to 40 by 3 meters. Got it? Simple? Yeah? No doubt in this? All right, guys. Before you leave, just let me know what do you want to do in tomorrow's class. Do you have doubts to ask? I know there's some TWT is coming up, but I think discuss कर लिया था ना हमने circular motion. Sorry, circular motion नहीं. क्या डिस्कस किया था? Laws of motion डिस्कस कर लिए हैं. So what do you want to do tomorrow? Do you have more doubts to ask from laws of motion? Snell's law का derivation. Snell's law का derivation दिखा सकता हूँ. Yeah, I can show that. That may be a little time consuming though, because the questions on friction. I'm not given homework apart from the HCV. I'll be giving more homework from the HCV. Ayush, yes. Block on block problems कर सकते हैं. ठीक है. तुम एक बार देख लो. Let's continue the discussion on the group. If you don't mind, I would prefer, if you don't have anything I mean, I think तुमने काफी कर लिया laws of motion. If you don't mind, I would prefer continuing the lecture. मैं थोड़ा अगर doubts discuss करना है तो कर सकते हैं. All right, guys, you want to leave? You can leave. I'm just trying to sort this out. Bye. Bye. Welcome. Bye. सानिका, एक मिनट. आप दिखा रहा हूँ. अरे यार, देख लो. Let me know क्या doubt है. Okay. Welcome. Bye. Finally. Bye. Yes, someone will do that. Bye.